Learning is Nishmas, Etta, Ahuva, Yaakov. Masechas Gitin, Perek Hey, Mishna Gimel. Ein moitzian lachilas peres, uleshvach karkois, ulemazan isha, v'habanais, meinachasim mishubadim, and they tikkun ha'olam. So in the Mishnah there are four cases. We'll split up the first two and the last two. So the first two is Ein moitzian lachilas peres, uleshvach karkois. The case is someone stole a field and sold it to someone else, and now the nigzal takes it away from the lekeach. Meanwhile, this lekeach had worked the field and made both peres and shvach karkois by planting trees, by fertilizing the field. So there's peres on it and there's shvach karkois. And the lekeach has a right, the nigzal has a right to take this away from the lekeach. But now the lekeach could go back to this moicher / gazlan to get it back from him. But for that, he could only collect it from b'nei chayrin. Even though it was sold by achrayis, he only has a right to collect from the b'nei chayrin and not from nechasu mishubanim, meaning other fields that this gazlan / moicher had that sold to someone else afterwards. The lekeach cannot collect from those fields. We'll see in a second why. It has the same reason as the next two cases in the Mishnah. What are the next two cases in the Mishnah? Mozain ha'isha v'habanos. So this is talking about someone dies and his wife, the almana, and the banais have a right, as it says in the ksuva, mitnai ksuva, to collect mezainis from the yisaimim. So that mezainis they could only collect from nechasim mishubadim and not from b'nei chayrin. What's the reason for these four cases? Because mimnei tikkun ha'olam. Because of tikkun ha'olam. In the Gemara, is a machlekes, is it because lefi she'ein kesuvim, is because there's no shtar on the peres. The shtar, let's say in the first case, was only on the actual field, not on the peres or the shvach. Or in the case of the mazan or banas and achasim, there's no shtar over here. Or is the reason because in kitsuvim, because it's not a set amount. You don't know how much peres, how much shvach there's going to be, or how much mazain ha'isha or mazain habanas is going to be. Either way, so the people that bought property afterwards, they don't know about it to be careful, and therefore you can't collect from it. The last halacha in the Mishnah is hamaitzi mitzia, if someone finds a lost object and he returns it, and now the person he returned it to said, you never returned it to me, and you have my mitzia, lo yishava, he doesn't have to swear, mimnei tikkun ha'olam, otherwise people are not going to return mitzias. Mishnah Dalid, Yisayim shen samchu eitzel bal habayis, oy shemina lahem aviyam apetropis. Yisayim that have a balabayis that's doing work for them on behalf of them, or they have a legal guardian, an apetropis, which the Rav says the word apetropis comes from the word fetter, which is a father, and potus is sounds like a lashon of petit, is ketanim, so it's like a father for ketanim. So the halach over here is chayiv la'aser perisein. They have to give meiser on behalf of the yisayim. The Gemara asks that there's a drasha that says atem v'loi apetropasin, that apetropis does not have to give trumas on behalf of the yisayimim. And the Gemara answers, if it's for the yisayimim to eat right away, then they have to give meiser, because that's the only way you're allowed to eat. But if they're putting away this food for a later time, for when they become older, so then why should they give the meiser now? They'll give the meiser later on. The Mishnah has another halacha now. Apetropis sheminu avi yisaimim yishava, minu bezdin lo yishava, and abishol oimer chilaf hadvarim. The Tanakama holds an apetropis would have to swear that he didn't take anything for himself, only if he was appointed by the father of the Yisayimim. Because in that case, we're not afraid that he's going to refrain from becoming apetropis, because obviously he had prior benefit, and that's why he's doing it for the father. But if Bezdin appointed him, so then he's not getting any benefit, he's just doing it as a favor. If you make him swear, he's not going to want to become an apetropis. Apeshol held a fakert svara, that if Bezdin appointed him, so then he's happy that he's looked upon as a trustworthy person, that Bezdin chose him, so therefore he's not going to refrain from becoming apetropis if you make him swear. But if the father made him an apetropis, then you would have to swear. The last halacha in the Mishnah is Hametame, if someone is metame the taras of someone else, or medame, he mixes the truma and chulin of someone else, or menasech, he makes someone else's wine into yayin nesach. So then, if he did it b'shoigeg, he's pater. If he did it b'mezid, he's chayiv. So in this, it's because of tikkun ha'olam, but there's a machlokes in the Gemara, is it pshat that be'etzem you should be chayiv even b'shoigeg, because hezek she'ein nikar shmo hezek, but they made a tikkun ha'olam that we're afraid that if you say that he's going to be chayiv, people are not going to let us know that they were mitama someone else's stuff. So therefore they said, they tikkun ha'olam, if you did a b'shegeg, your patas, this way they'll let us know that it was done, so we know to be careful about it. And Rabbi Yochanan says, fakert, that midaraisa, even b'mezid, you should be pater, because hezek she'ein nikar lo yishmei hezek. But the tikkun ha'olam was that b'mezid yechayev, so people shouldn't go around and being mitamet harosav shel chaveirav and say I'm pater anyhow. So therefore they said if you do b'mezid yechayev. And the last halacha of the Mishnah is the same thing. Koyanim shepaglu b'migdash. If a kohen was mefagel someone's carbon, he had a machshavas pigel, and therefore the carbon becomes pasul. If he did it b'mezid, he's chayev. But if it was b'shogeg, then he'd be pater.